Oh boy. It's been a while since I've gotten to a point in a project where I am so stoked on the outcome. This whole week, month, I would say, has been me painstakingly measuring every inch of this floor plan. I'm still not done. There's a lot to do, but I've made so much progress that I didn't feel it was necessary to wait until I was done to go ahead and start bringing this into Unreal Engine. I don't have any floor plans, but what I do have is a pretty nice workstation, a tape measure, and a little bit of time. And my goal with this project is very ambitious. First, I want to showcase what's possible with SketchUp and Unreal Engine, but also I want to pursue a fully fledged digital twin, not just a digital twin in geometry, but in connected devices, IoT, sensors, Internet of Things, smart appliances, and so on. I do want physically accurate devices in this project, so I'll see if I can source appliances. But for now, the geometry of the architecture is where we're gonna start. UE is crazy. SketchUp is not so bad either. You know, there are some things that I didn't like about SketchUp before. A lot of people get confused as to why I use SketchUp over Blender. But I'm a numbers guy, and SketchUp is really good, I think, with numbers if you can understand how to translate real world measurements. This is a pretty good point in the project where I can say, like, I'm ready to take a little break and just play with this for a little bit. Couple things before I get started. The thickness of my walls, I think, is fine, but when the sun is shining down in SketchUp from a very bright light source, it's important to have really thick meshes in the roof. So you might want to duplicate your project. If you're designing something that's physically accurate, you may want to duplicate your project and use the duplicated project as the version that has thicker rooftops. So this isn't a roof. This is supposed to actually go up to a main floor and then a third floor and then an attic and then a roof. But for the purpose of this video, what you pretty much want to do is push your rooftop up and give it a lot of thickness. And that's going to prevent light leaking in Lumen. Our walls and floors are already connected. And I learned that if the thickness of the rooftop, you know, I'll go ahead and show you from the side. You know, let's take a side profile and delete a wall. You can see that the ceiling is about as thick as the walls are. So that little gap right there almost look like a liminal space, something you might see in the Matrix. But as you can see, the rooftops aren't very thick. They're about the same thickness as the walls, but the sun is shining from that direction. So inside of Unreal Engine, and y'all are gonna love this, I did stretch that rooftop out. And I don't know if you can see, it's inverted. But let's take a quick preview. I did some things last night that I should have streamed. My son was asleep, and I really wanted the stream to be very particular, I guess. But two things. A virtual walkthrough, for one. Let me see if I can play this video without having audio. I don't believe that I can, but it's possible. Let's see, audio, let's draw highlights. I wonder if I can mute the audio coming from this, even with my level editor volume being all the way down. I don't know. Let's see. I know we go playback options. Let me just play it.
No Tyler Hero in here, so they can double.
Yeah, if I disable the audio, the whole thing just stops playing. So, real quick, I got a solution for that. We'll just use a different media file. I'll go into my, where is it? It's gonna be in movies. Let's grab that Ja Morant season highlights video and edit with Clipchamp. And then what I'll do is just separate the audio or turn the volume all the way down and export a new video. This video probably doesn't have to be 1080p. I can set it to 4K. So let's see. Let's split, rename audio, mute. And let's export this as Ja_highlights. And we're just gonna go 720p for this one. Probably could even go 420. But this is a rather long video, so I don't know if this is a good idea. Yeah, let's cancel that. I got a better idea. And I want this to play for as long as the person is like maybe in the game. In the meantime, what I can do instead of taking you through this painstaking process is I can just, let's see if we can grab another video and set the audio to disabled. I don't know why it wouldn't continue playing.
And eating the rebound. Dunn couldn't get it on the initial try. Bain, a flyby, a three. It's through.
No problem. We'll just play the Netflix one. Oh, I didn't know there was sound. What? No way. This, okay. I'm tripping.
So you're telling me
Did I not have my headphones on the entire time?
With all the lightning and thunder and stuff.
And eating the rebound. Dunn couldn't get it on the initial try. Bain, a flyby, a three. It's through for Desmond Bain.
I'm gonna tell you this, I haven't had the chance to say it much, but FBK, Flyby King, off to a great start.
Norman Powell, he's having a great year. Great one-on-one.
Oh, I see what I did there. All right, so as you can see inside of my main view, this is playing.
Every time.
Screen by Edie. Morant for three. Effective rise of the game. Don't want to get stuck in the mud. And Derrick Jones Jr. missing it.
Looks good. But quick solution. I know what to do. We're going to open a different file in QuickChamp. And it's going to be the Netflix video. Let's edit with Clipchamp. Create new video. And audio and mute. Since this is a short one, it should be easy to export. So TV_Netflix muted, just to make sure this isn't playing during the stream. And we'll export this one at, I really like 1080p, but we're gonna go 720. My computer can handle probably 4K videos playing inside of Unreal Engine on a material. You're right. Use what you feel comfortable with. For like UV is nice to learn. UV fixing. Yes, I agree. Although Unreal Engine has a lot of native UV editing tools that are really great. and those are only improving. And the work that they are doing with many of their partners is probably going to put them in position to be one of the best UV editing tools out, because Unreal wants you to not ever have to leave the software, obviously, unless you're using something like Houdini, which is extremely advanced procedural content generation. But I do a lot of UV editing in the engine for assets that are meant for visual aesthetic, not so much game ready production, but those tools do exist in there. I think what Blender is superior at are quad tools. So making sure that like your topology is absolutely perfect for subdivisions, smoothing, animations, and creating the appropriate types of joints for blending. I believe Blender pretty much is the go-to. This has 1 minute and 45 seconds left, but I'm also running 20 different programs all at once. So we're gonna pull this in, and I'm gonna see if I can grab another recording of something else to put on the other screen. And we're just gonna go to netflix.com. We'll grab my son's profile, and I'll refresh it when I'm ready. I'll do a screen snippet, and I don't know that anything actually previews, but let's do video, start, and let's see. If my computer is going to be able to handle all of this at once. I like throwing shit at my computer, making it breathe fire. Let's wait for Clipchamp to finish up then. It's almost done. This audio, if you can hear it, reminds me slightly of Teletubbies. All right, that's done. Let's take this at F5. Ooh, I like that. That little animation that comes up for the video. What's happening here, Netflix? Okay. Forget that. Let's see. Let's grab this Netflix muted video. Let's throw it in here. I don't think I have anything else that has no audio. But what I can do, though, is go to YouTube. And search for something that's kind of short that has no sound. Let's see. filter by duration. I think this adds to the immersion what I'm doing here, so I want to do this before I present what I'm about to show you. Duration under 4 minutes is fine. We'll grab something that's not weird. 2 minutes is good. Let's copy this URL. And then I will use the software that I'm not ready to pay for to rip it. See, MP4 download. Let's do 720p. That's an ad. Duration MP3, play video. Complete it, download. And we'll put this in our movies folder and we'll rename it Live Wallpaper. .mp4. What? Free porn. Interesting. Well, y'all don't use ytmp4.biz. It'll send you to some porn website. That's cute. Okay, so I've got my live wallpaper. It's muted. It's probably a 2-minute video. I don't think I need to import anything through Unreal. It should just be in there. I can go and grab it. So let's go to main view, and the first thing we have to do is find in our content browser our media players, and let's see, we also need to grab, let's do movies, LA Clippers, the media texture. So, or no, file media source. Double click on the file media source, and we're going to replace this with Netflix muted, or what is the other one I just downloaded? Live wallpaper. There we go. Okay, so if I go back to highlights, double click this, there it is. All right, so let's go to the Netflix one and let's replace this one as well, which is going to be in the Netflix folder, file media source. Let's browse for the muted version and then go back and hit play here. Let's save everything, and as you can see, both of my TVs are playing. All right, so one thing that I did, another thing that I did is I accidentally deleted a door, I think. Let's see, door, Zeppelin, bedroom. Let's duplicate, or not duplicate, what is the other one? What? Why are you all the way over here, buddy? Okay, so this is gonna be at location. Let's right click that location and then go and grab Zeppelin's door. For whatever reason, it's all the way over here. Let's paste the location and hit F. What? Okay, I need to fix something real quick. I've got some physics assets that I created last night, and instead of animating doors and adding animated assets, I simply created a physics asset inside of a blueprint. And I'm very proud of this, and I cannot wait to show you. So let me go and realign these doors that got mislocated for some reason. Let's do a modeling mode, transform, and I should be able to move this up here. Let's get it as close as possible, and it'll be good enough once we do. Very meticulous. That's good enough. Yesterday, I took a iPad and I created a virtual camera, and I'm going to try to demonstrate that today. And that virtual camera, wait, where's the, oh, complete, was then used to film a sequence. And that sequence is stored in the scene so that I can play it back inside of the viewport. But we had a little issue here. I know exactly why this happened. But I guess I didn't notice it when it did. So one thing that's super important when you're converting a project over from SketchUp to Unreal Engine is naming every single layer. So I had to go back and do some naming of layers and assets in the content browser and in the blueprint editor to keep things organized. That's good enough. Or is it? There we go. Solid. And that was probably the most time-consuming part of this whole thing. Any more doors down there? No more doors. All right, so first, what I want to do is try to play a sequence. And I'm going to open some of these doors so that the sequence kind of makes sense. I believe I go through here. And I look in here, and I look in here. Okay. So if I simulate in the viewport, those videos should still be playing. Let's go double check. Got it set to loop. No problem. We'll deal with that later. Let's grab our sequence, which is scene. Inside of our, let's see, we got take recorder. Let's open up our takes folder. Well, I can just click on this scene, double click that, it should open it up, and I can, okay, and I'll hit play. Now this isn't going to be the best sequence because I lost connection to my iPad at one point. But this is me walking through the house with an iPad. And I have video footage that I can overlay on top of this. But the house was a little too dirty, so I'm gonna redo it. And there's some skipping in a couple parts because the lights were off. Let me pause it and see if I can open a garage door. I don't think I can while the stream is happening. Let's stop this and let's try that again. So garage door, blueprint. There we go. And initial position. All right. That doesn't help at all. Just go ahead and hit play. It's very dark in there, so no big deal. But I'll go back inside in a minute. I'm using Live Link and the AR kit from the iPad. And I had to reposition the camera to make sure that this lined up appropriately. And I can play back this sequence of keyframes from the camera position inside of the editor. It's only choppy because the iPad lost connection to the engine or to the internet or something, whatever it communicates with to send those sequences. Oh, I forgot to open a door. I didn't remember that I went through here. So let me pause the playback and let's go to where that camera is. And I'll just rewind it a bit. So this is great for making virtual productions, movies, animations for shorts, commercials, whatever have you. I say you can set up your TV and UE to run internet videos. You just have to set it up web. Yes, I am familiar with that. Also, I knew that you could do it with a webcam, but I didn't know it was a native feature. A pop-up blocker. Oh yeah, man, that the porn showing up is hilarious. But hey, we're adults. That shit comes and goes. No pun intended. If you did not stream it, it did not happen. So you have to. That showed up on the stream. I might, but fortunately, it was on a small screen, so I don't care. Like, I don't watch porn, so if I did, I probably would be like frustrated or something. But yeah, I think it's kind of funny. And that's why I have a software that I use to download YouTube videos directly on the computer, but it didn't open. So I was just like, fuck it, I'll go to a website and do it. And lo and behold, that's the first time that something like that has ever happened when I rip from YouTube. Like, I do rips from YouTube and Instagram all the time. So just my luck. So this is just the sequence of me walking through the house and using my tablet in a virtual camera. And the first time I did this, I had the TVs playing, I had sound coming from it, and I thought, like, wow, like, I've done virtual production, virtual cameras before, but to get this level of detail, is kind of cool. It's awesome. So let me undock that and let's go to a different mode. Let's hit undo, undo. I think the last door that I opened might have been, I don't know, but let's just make sure we close all the doors. All right, let's save this and let's go and play an editor. All right, so now I am the first person character and I have set up physics bodies, but this only works when you're on the outside of a door. And that was a challenge to be able to set that up how I wanted it. But very satisfied with the results. No blueprints. The only blueprints are the assets themselves and a few settings, but very cool. The only thing I have to figure out now is how to open doors from the inside with like let's say some sort of a grab and pull. What I was trying to do in the garage was open the garage door so that I could let some light in. And the quality of this looks really good. I said I'm going to change my social media handles to Geometry Corey because I am all about some physical geometry. Now, you probably can't see it that well, but I measured every little nook in the wall to get this detail. Now, what I did notice is that is this saved? You have to have media players open in order for those videos, I believe, to automatically play. So let's double click and see if this is going to work again, or if we have some issues with memory. Show text overlays, scale. Maybe we need to close and open them back. Let's go ahead and close all of these blueprints. And let's give this another go. So we need to open the media player. This one is Netflix. And then let's go and open the other one. And double click that. And now let's hit play and see if this continues to play. I don't remember what I did to have this not automatically play. Let's see, save. Huh. Yeah, I'm not sure. I know that this is playing inside of a blueprint. So let's close and reopen. It's not going to make a difference. But to come from SketchUp and to have this level of fidelity and high performance, as well as these reflections, I'm really impressed about the reflections. And I think it has something to do with the material setup, because even when a TV is playing, you can very well see, you know, what's happening. Let's open, edit, TV muted. Okay, let's give it a try again. Pause, play. Ah, I have to hit pause and play for some reason. And when you've got it set to like a 1080p video, the quality is even better. So why this one isn't playing, I don't know. Let's go to the blueprint and find out. Let's see, viewport, screen, glass. Oh, I think I do know what it is. Maybe. So, screen to the material, highlights. Okay. Yeah, I don't remember changing that, but there you have it. Question is, will this continue to play? Doesn't look like it. So I need to go into the level blueprint, maybe. Not the level blueprint, the blueprint that I added to control these videos. Control E. And let's see, media player. And it's only going to be one probably. So let's go clippers. Ah, okay. That makes a big difference. And that's why it won't play, because I don't have it selected here. So can I duplicate this? Copy. Paste. Custom event 1. Can I rename this? Warning. Let's see what the warning is. An event will customize our name and parameters. Warning. Custom event 1, event begin play. So let's delete this. Event begin play. There's only, so okay, for start play I can delete that. Can we do 2, or is it just 1? Okay, so let's take all of this and delete it. Let's move these 2 here. And media source and media player. All right, so let me move to the other screen real quick. You can see, so you can see what I'm doing. Creating a blueprint, and we're gonna set this media player to automatically play, but we got to make sure that we have the correct media sources. So one is going to be Netflix, which means that this media player also has to be the Netflix media player. This one will be Clippers, I think, LA Clippers versus Memphis Grizzlies. And let's see if we can double. Nope, we can't double up. So So does this mean only one can play at a time? Let's go ahead and compile, save, and go back to see if this is going to just automatically play. Nope, doesn't look like it. Compile, save, something to figure out. Let's double check our materials and everything real quick. So let's click through all of these. TV Grizzlies, media texture, clippers. Yeah, everything's pretty much set up how it's supposed to be. No big deal. It looks super nice. And I'm very proud of all the time that I took to make those doors happen. Using a physics constraint. So what's next? What's next? I've got to figure out more materials. I've got to figure out how to pull those doors open. But sitting on this computer every day for, 7-8 hours definitely can help you learn a thing or two. Just turn that off. Very nice. Very nice. And I love this music, but I'm going to pause it. Something I did do is I went ahead and started copying over the vents. Still plenty to add and organize. An easy way to go ahead and start populating the scene, even if these assets aren't in the correct positions, is to just copy it all over. So I will go ahead and do a copy paste here, and we're going to move these into this bedroom. I have not taken the measurements for these yet. So I'm not totally sure of the placement. At some point I will convert it all to blueprints. Some of these lights, I'm going to change the material to set them to be off. But for the sake of just populating the scene, ahead and just get them in here. And we'll take our measurements a little bit later. Now I know there's one in this closet. Don't too much care exactly where it's at. Let's do structure. I just know that we need it. So I know there's two lights here, one above this tub, one above the sink. There is a light in this closet. And I'll go back and convert these to blueprints and add an actual bulb, like a light source to it. There's not one in that closet. Let's see, playroom. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So 9 in the playroom. Let's grab these 3. And it's hard to tell what side. I would imagine if I turn the structure back on, it's going to be on the left. Yeah. No lights in here. There's one more though in here. Solid. Since this is a closet, I know this is going to be a little closer to the door. So you can see all the clothes that are on the shelf, on the rack, I mean. Bathroom closet, no light. Bathroom, perfect. So the light switches for these rooms, which I think there is one here too that I forgot to add. I probably could have done this in SketchUp, and I probably should do this in SketchUp, which means I'll end up deleting those lights at some point, maybe, or maybe not. There's one more light switch. So, yeah, that's a decision that I'm going to need to make soon, I think. So let's grab this single plate, copy paste. Let's do a modeling transform mode, and let's move it. Not sure what's up with this new engine version where I I get two gizmos at once. All right, but there is one here for the hallway. So in case you want to turn the light off in here. Oh, those are the ones that I missed. I thought I put those in there already. What? All right, let's check out the chat. This is fun, man. I really thoroughly enjoy doing this. All right, cool. No light sources are in there, so it's going to look a little funny until I add them. I also need a fan. So eventually what I'd like to do is animate these switches and have the user be able to actually turn these lights on and off and have the two-way, three-way switches behave as they do in the real world. Okay, so with that out of the way, well, let me go and add these lights. What I am going to do, though, is preview myself walking through the space. Now, I want to make sure that when the time comes, that it would be easy for me to close these doors back. So let's go details, rotation 90. Yeah, easy math. Easy math. Now, I do wish that I had a state that I could switch these doors between. And that's something worth Googling here shortly, or YouTubing. We're going to go ahead and open these doors so I can go through the whole space virtually. And we're going to attempt to make this work. No closet. Definitely this one. I'm going to attempt to make this work. And it'll be a pretty cool experience if we do. So these videos should be looping too, and I don't know why they're not. And it could be because we didn't actually import the assets. So before I continue, I'm going to save this, close the program, reopen it, and see if it automatically imports. Those videos. So this camera, I would assume, is very close to the edge of my desk where my tablet would be. Let's move this and see. Yeah, I would say that that's pretty accurate. Although I can't adjust for height. But that being there, that's so funny. Let's see. Yeah, let's go with that. I'm gonna enable a virtual camera. I can't wait to get a custom keyboard with some macros. Let's see, scene, VCam actor 2. We want this to be camera transform. We want it to be active. Just gonna set it to viewport 1, VCam HUD. Let's dock that so that we don't have to have it clicked. And then we'll set it to enabled as soon as I turn on my tablet. So we should already be connected. I'm gonna go ahead and pick it up. And let's click on enabled. And set the live link subject. Are we on the wrong device? I don't think so. This is the correct device. So let's go to live link, add source, message bus, and let's change this to camera transform. And why this puts me right here, I don't have a clue. So let's disable it. And let's see if we can reposition the camera again. Oh, it brought me down under the ground is what happened. So let's go reset the rotation. Rotate it. Whoops. Like this and this. And let's make sure it is, that plug is about here. So let's assume that my desk is about right there. And we're right at the edge of the TV. So let's put this right here. Let's try this again and see if this doesn't, if it works, keeps it in place. To camera transform. Why? Why does it do this? This makes no sense. Okay, let's figure out where we are. Okay, this should be at about 180. let's see. This should be looking at maybe this part of the wall. Let's bring it down and see if we're facing the wall. You would almost be looking at that. So let's bring it up and bring it over this way just a hair. I think this is pretty close to the position. So if you can't tell, I'm holding a tablet in my hand, and this is acting as my virtual camera. So I should be able to look up at the TV, the window. Something does feel just slightly off here. My rotation. Kind of facing the wall. And it could be a matter of my field of view being a little bit off. So let's go to camera and feels a little bit off. So let's edit the rotation here. So why it's that, I don't even know. Okay, but that helps. That definitely helps. I feel like that's a lot more accurate. While this is going, I'm going to figure out where these videos are. Okay, I'm going to walk around and see if this actually works like it's supposed to. It might not. It might, but let's do it. Excuse me. Let's record. So I've got to close take recorder. Or nope, actually it's letting me do it. And we're going to do a recording. This might not work right, but we're going to go for it and try it. All right, now we're recording. I don't know what y'all saw. But if this does what I expected it to, then, or if it did what I expected it to, then you guys must have had a pretty good show. So let's activate and deactivate this again. Ah, that happens because the camera is crooked. Good to know. So let's reset the rotation of this. Oh, that's odd. Okay, so the rotation and everything of the actor itself is what needs to be changed. And that makes this make a whole lot more sense. So let's go and find that take. So I can close this, open the takes recorder folder, double click this take and set it to be active. Scroll through. Now I'm going to go to the part where I go to the sync, because yeah, this tells me how far off it might actually be. All right. This is helpful. This is helpful. I see I'm peeking through a bunch of walls. So my placement was not so great of my initial placement of the camera. So I know that right about here. Stretch this one out. I definitely need to be moved over. But let's say I go in here to, let's go to the stairs. Actually, this will be helpful too. All right, so scene, we're gonna replace this scene from the last recording I did with the new one. So take 5, let's do take 6. And let's undock and redock it. Now I should be able to move this with the actor that I set up to bind to it. So actor number 3 and scene. Let's see what that does, if anything. No, that doesn't help it at all. Let's see, override. And this is supposed to be for scene. Override instance data. And then transform origin actor. Oh, actor. And let's see. We want to transform on the green axis. Let's set it to 0 and see what happens. Now, where is that at? Yeah, I don't know. scene. Transform. Let's just move this over a bunch. See what happens. Nothing. Really? Oh, I'm looking at the camera cuts and I'm not actually looking at. I don't think I'm looking at this the correct thing here. I could be wrong. Let's get back to that door. So what I'm looking at here is I'm supposed to be looking out the window, which means that the whole sequence is moved over too far. And I'm supposed to be able to move the entire sequence. There it goes. It worked that time. Looks like it did. So if I screw up back, I should no longer clip the door. Okay, now here I need to move on the red axis. So let's grab from here to here, turn it off and back on, and let's do that one more time. Let's maybe move it over like just a hair, and now let's hit play. And one other thing is I want to change my height. This is me opening the door, which I could animate. And I think having lots of light helps with this process, because it uses the camera maybe as well as LiDAR. Oh, there's an issue. So let's move it back here. Let's pause it again. Move it down just a little bit. And play. Pause. I'm holding the tablet in my hand, so it's not necessarily at my eye level. Oh, another peak, or another clip, I mean. And So getting this just right can be a little challenging, but once you got it, it's very rewarding. Oh, playing it backwards. Again. So what I did yesterday is, uh-oh, too high. I had a second iPad in my hand, not covering the camera, but recording video. And I'm going to redo that because kids got toys all over the place. It's a little bit of a mess down here, and I want it to look presentable, less distracting. And I was able to get some side-by-side footage of me walking through. Oh, shit. Am I going backwards? Again, yeah. The house to kind of show, like, hey, this is possible. This is what's possible. So here's where I go to the sink. And I should be showing underneath the microwave and the cabinets. And then I'm going to get on top of the counter. So I look over into the sink. Here I make the executive decision to climb that countertop and show the details. Oh, little peek. So let's move it down a hair. Oh, I'm still going backwards. I keep forgetting. And I think some of this has to do with like a little bit of a connection issue. Like here it jumps out of place. And I don't even think it's supposed to be that low to the ground either. Yeah, the whole thing completely jumps over. And gets misplaced. Alright, it's very confusing, like what just happened here. No clue why it's... Oh, well, maybe because I didn't turn it on or off. I don't know. I don't have a clue. So, you know, it's really cool, but it can be very frustrating. And I think having something that's more tethered might even be better. Because otherwise, you're going to deal with a lot of inconsistencies. And then also understanding that I'm using an iPad, which the camera isn't directly exactly centered. Field of view also might not be totally accurate. Let's scrub through. Oh, okay. That makes sense. So because I couldn't see what I was showing y'all, maybe I thought the camera was pointing directly at these things, and it's possible that it wasn't. And that's the importance, I guess, of having the AR kit, pixel streamed app version enabled. But I would assume if I can walk through and just reposition the camera exactly where I physically was in the space, like I should be able to get this to translate if this is all 1-to-1 scale. It's also possible that my camera is rotated in a way that these changes aren't accurate based on my yaw, like the yaw of my camera, and the rotation of the asset in the scene might not directly align with my, like, these changes that I'm making. I don't know if that makes sense. Like maybe everything's like 13 degrees off or something. See, screwed up again. And then this is where it all gets jacked up again. I feel like when it gets to this point, the whole thing shifts. I could be tripping. But I don't think I am. Yeah. So that portion of the footage is just going to be useless. All right, so let's do one more playthrough and see what we got. Okay, so that's that. It's all kind of making a little bit of sense, I think. Let's let's just turn this off. See if we can get VCam Actor to work. I'm gonna have to use a regular VCam Actor, so we're gonna delete the VCam actors we have in the scene, which I tried to set up to match the iPad's camera specs. And that could have been part of the reason why it just wasn't working. I just needed to delete it all the way. Let's see. Scene. Okay, let's save. And we'll go add virtual production VCam actor. This VCam actor is already enabled. If I go to record a cine camera, yes. Input profile, default. Output providers, pixel streaming server is active. Target viewport, viewport 1, VCam HUD. Override the default output resolution with a custom value. You must toggle is active. Off and then back on for this to take effect. Nope, I'm good. Match a remote resolution. So we'll match the resolution of the remote device. Sure. If you wish to control the corresponding camera with transform data received from the Live Link app, prevent editor idle, auto set Live Link subject, override streamer name, no. Okay, well, let's go into pixel streaming. Let's launch the pixel streaming server. And then we need to set up our IP addresses. Before I do that, though, I need to transform my VCam actor. Let's deactivate it and find it in the world. Drop it down. here's what I know. This room has a desk that is very close to this outlet. So I can use this to kind of gauge my starting point. So that's where we want it to be, I think. Let's close this one and charge it, this tablet. Let's go to settings, Wi-Fi, info. Let's go to project settings here in the details panel. Let's move this out of the way real quick. Scroll all the way down to UDP messaging. Multicast endpoint. Let's try 8888. Add a few arrays. Okay. 92, 168, 1, and 1. Okay. 12168 138. Let's grab that IP. I don't know why this isn't working like it used to. And it could be an issue with Unreal Engine or a plugin that I have activated. So let's go plugins or plugin that I don't have activated. So live link hub, live link camera, input device. Let's search virtual production. Take recorder, virtual production utilities. Got 2 signaling servers streaming for whatever reason. Virtual camera. Let's enable live link XR, whatever that means. I think that's probably not relative. Or relevant. I know the tablet can connect because I used the tablet to get non-video playback. So pixel streaming 168.180. Let's try this real quick. 80. Oh, okay. 168, 138.80. Well, I mean, stream editor. Stream full editor. Does that make a difference? I don't think so. I could be wrong. I don't know, guys. Looks like we're not going to figure this one out on here. It's got to be an issue with the VCam actor. So let's see. Virtual production. Dynamic checkerboard actor. VCam actor. Place actors panel. Search for VCam aim. No freaking clue, man. Super sad. Super sad. I don't know what else to do. Let's retry. Other than grab a new viewport. So let's go viewport 2. VCam actor, we're going to set it to be enabled specifically on viewport 2, if we can find it. VCam HUD. I don't think we need any widgets changed. Is active, enabled. Let's retry. So maybe let's change this from pixel streaming to viewport output provider. Let's see what happens. Thumbs up. I don't know what it is, but in the earlier version of Unreal, there was no issue with this, and I think that's part of the problem. I bet you if I updated this project, though, to something later, a bunch of shit is going to break, but this is going to work. Let's go viewport 2. Let's set it to VCam, VCAM, HUD. And it is set to VCam actor with camera transform. So camera transform is obviously going to work, which means the tablet is connected. So why everything else isn't connected, I'm not sure. It's got to be some sort of a live link issue. I've disabled my firewall so that anything can come through. VCam actor doesn't even show up. following subject isn't even an option. Let's try it again. This is a shame. But you know, this is how it goes. This is not necessarily game development in a nutshell, but trying to do anything that has worked before in a nutshell in front of an audience. Let me disable AR kit and see what happens. Say 138.80. And this is a fairly new issue, but it's possible that someone else has run into it and solved it. So let's see. (2021). Let me find something that's more recent. Tools. Past year. Similar issue. Steps to reproduce. Expected result, actual result. Live link window in Unreal Engine shows no new sources. System fails consistently across all tests. Root cause analysis. So, suggested fix. Editing. Setup script to detect the CPU architecture. Download the correct binary. Modify the script. Blah, blah, blah. Exact location of the script that contains a problematic code. I've checked myself. The code you suggested problematic isn't present in such scripts. And no one else has talked about it since. And that's for Apple, not necessarily for Windows. So, not useful. Search for retire. This is 2021. So, similar problem. Can't provide more information. There's 2 different errors. Timeout. Enabled. Output providers. So virtual camera. Let's take a look at a couple things real quick. So VCam actor components says VCam actor. Under virtual camera, we've already got that. Output providers under 0, output is active. So yeah, is active. Got that. Launch a live link app, but do not click connect. Sends a signal to your PC waiting to connect. Plus source. If you hit connect your iPad before this step. Okay, so one thing is, let me go back. Whoops. Here. And let's make it not be connected. Let's go to live link. we're going to navigate to add source. I know that this should show up in the message bus when it's waiting to connect. If this one doesn't show, we'll turn that off and try this one. So let's hit cancel. And let's just see if it shows up. One of them has to. We're just not sure which one. This one we already connected. Let's figure out the IP of this iPad. So Wi-Fi info and 76. Let's see what happens. So what's supposed to happen here is I have my tablet opened using one of the Unreal Engine live link apps. And what's supposed to happen is that this displays. Okay, you know what I haven't tried? Power loop on the tablets. Because I already did a power loop on the computer earlier. And then let's disconnect the internet and reconnect it and see what difference that makes. Well, it's still not showing. Remote session waiting for connection. All right, let's start the signaling server again. And if I hit connect, does it show now? Yeah, this shit is weird. Like, I haven't done anything at all to make any changes to this for it to just stop working. And I believe I was on Unreal Engine 5.4 when I learned how to do this. And I made $10,000 in about 30 days creating a architectural visualization project using augmented reality and the iPad. It seems to be impossible to get it to work any other time. know, guys. We might have to cut this one short. So let's go back and enable ARKit tracking. Message bus source shows absolutely nothing. Connection settings. Apple ARKit source bus port 11111. Wonder if that makes a difference. A. Let's see. Yep, I don't know, man. It's funny. It works when I'm not trying to get it to work. But hey, well, you guys got to at least preview the live link in action, and I think it was a really cool presentation. I'm going to go and try to optimize this and get this to work. And if I do, I'll be back live sooner than later. If not, no biggie. We'll decide whether we want to revert back to 5.4 or if we want to take the leap into 5.7 at this point and see if we can get all of these features working and resolve our lighting issue with Lumen, which it's probably possible. But that requires me installing a whole new engine version, and I don't know if I'm quite ready to do that yet. It's been real.